Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi, how everyone's doing? Welcome to Thursday's Thoughts. 10:14. Add 2 more hours and we would have hit a whole 12 hours late. Psych. This episode's gonna be sponsored by Chrysler. Not sponsored, but
I
brought
thought
to you
you were
by. But you know, do you? Hello, viewers.
thought you were going a different way.
We
with
got
that.
Forget Nick back.
All right.
He got done hating on me. He came back.
All right,
Well.
let's get an introduction. So, Chrysler, myself, who
Yep, that's
is
me.
a Willix in the Discord. I am the league commissioner. I'm gonna have a few guests with me today for Thursday's Thoughts. Nick, if you want to introduce yourself.
I am Forget Nick. I am the captain of Pressure in Discord, and I'm a player on Pressure.
Competent.
My name's Compton, and I rep Pressure.
You're both teammates. And then I also have Diepic.
What's good?
Yeah, I'm Diepic, and I am the actual captain of the Lords.
The actual captain. Yeah, to be clear, guys, Nick is not the captain of Pressure.
Yo,
Or
I
much
actually-
less
Discord name is just captain
I
of
am
Pressure. Alright, so we're going to get straight into this real quick, guys. The first thing I wanted to go into is everybody's expectations for their teams. So, Nick and Competent, it's going to be a little interesting since both of you guys are on the same team, so you guys can
Nick is hot dog water.
share your opinion.
Right into
But we
it.
do have Diepic here as well. I'm actually going to let Diepic take the lead on this, and then we'll go over to Nick and Competent, because I'm sure their personalities together are going to last longer than what Diepic has to say.
It's not the first time somebody's lasted longer than me.
Voice crack.
But yeah, so my big question is, what expectations do you have for your team coming into your second season as a captain?
My expectations are really high, actually. Got a couple people coming back second time. We got some new people. Super high ranked players. If I don't have expectations of being deep in the playoffs, then I'm doing something wrong.
Do you think your team has the ability to hit a 9-1 record again?
Oh, absolutely. I think anything is possible from the players that we got.
Someone's giving a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I do hear that.
I think that was Competent. I'm not 100% sure.
Now it's gone.
But yeah, so it was an unfortunate loss last season. So I think the big question, because you guys really haven't added too much new talent, you're able to retain a lot of it. Do you have any worries that the same outcome could plague your team as it did last season, where you guys are going to choke in a serious game, or due to like either availability?
Damn.
Well, first off, that's possible. Anything is possible. Why did Full Senders lose so early? Last season.
Oh yeah, I
There's
completely agree. No,
There's
I
no
completely
reason
agree.
that happened. So I say anything is possible. But I do believe that with a little bit of communication between our team and a little more time we spend together, I think we'll be just fine.
That's a cool
Right.
answer.
And then we're gonna move over to Nick and Competent now with their expectations for their team. A little different because you're both players, so you guys don't have, dare I say, the full picture of what your team scope can be.
I
But,
mean, one
where
of
do you
us are
guys see your
captains.
team?
Boy.
Oh my goodness. So where do you guys see your team?
Nick, you go first. Screw
Well, I
it.
mean, like I definitely see this in the Cleveland League Discord. I see us there sometimes.
Oh,
You're already
I'm
there.
actually about to
That's where I met
smack you,
guys.
dude.
You're actually there
All right,
already.
let me hit you with something nice and easy. Do you think you guys could hit a 9-1 record?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
most
like we're 1-0 now. We're doing better than Die Epic.
Dude, we're
So, I mean,
undefeated.
Oh my
Hello.
God.
Oh my goodness. So you
It's not
guys
that
are
hard
pretty
to go
confident
undefeated at the
you'll hit a 9-0 record.
Have you guys
Something
played
you'll
Full
never do
Senders yet?
again.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you. Now, on that note, there was a little bit of struggle at one point from you guys playing the collision course. So there has to be some kind of
Hot dog
I don't
water.
know worry or concern. You guys genuinely feel that you guys can make a title run?
I mean,
Well,
if we're not laughing in comms, then we're probably losing. To be honest, like we actually were playing like garbage, and then we started laughing about everything, and then we ended up winning today. So
yeah, so like in game 1, we took everything serious. We were whiffing everything. Nick put Dent in the crossbar twice. And then on game 2, we were laughing almost probably the whole entire game, and we ended up winning like 4-0, 4-1. So I think as long as we have fun and not take it, of course take it serious, but not like too serious, like just enough to where we can have fun, but also take it serious. I think we have a good shot at the title run. So
That is a very well worded answer, dare I say. So that's actually going to take us into the next topic I wanted to get into,
That's
which
sarcastic
was
or
the
no?
past. No, you worded it
Okay.
very well. You actually did word it very well.
Okay.
So last night's game and then tonight's game. We're gonna go over last night's game
Hot dog
first, because
water.
I'm sure you two are gonna have plenty of stuff to say about tonight's game.
Yo, I love last
Hot
night's
dog
game.
water.
Last night we did have full senders versus the Lords. It was essentially a rematch of the last game of the regular season last season, where we saw the Lords actually beat full senders. This time around, it wasn't so lucky. Is there anything you would attribute to the loss, Diapic? Is there any concern, any big reason why you felt that you guys weren't able to pull it off?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I think that Slim, Jotaro, and Nico playing in the same game was obviously the key to why they reverse swept. They played them the last 3 games, and I mean, you see the results. Not saying that any team that Slim and Jotaro or Nico are on is going to be a strong team and difficult to beat, but I think with our talent, we were able to take the games from the beginning off.
So do you have any, now obviously you don't have to fully go in there, but do you have any strategy or plan? I believe you guys are going to face them one more time this season. Any just practice, like any kind of outlook on how you guys are going to prepare for that rematch?
Yeah, we got some things we got to work on. Just basically communication things. We don't have the time that they have in. Obviously, everybody knows that Jotaro, Nico, and Slim have been on the same team since, well, I guess since Slim came into the league.
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah, and when Slim joined. But they have time, and we really don't. And we don't get a lot of practice in. Last season, we didn't practice a single time, just time restraints. And now I'm going to try to make it a point to actually play together. And that's a huge thing. You got to play together to win together and practice. That's all it is. We got to have time together. That's it.
If you don't mind me
So-
interjecting, I think it's pretty interesting how the parallels of your word choices and conversation to your franchise owner.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I did not catch that.
The Lords, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I talk to Mr. Holt pretty often. You just kind of articulated your sentences similar, and you guys seem to have a similar outlook on it. It just seems like something that Shane would have said, that yes, we're looking to practice more and etc. I don't know. I'm not bashing anything.
Oh.
I just thought it was pretty interesting, the
Oh, no, yes.
parallels.
So I do completely agree. I think we've heard the same stuff reiterated from the Lords franchise owner Chip the Pleb that we've heard from their captain Al Epic. Just a quick heads up though, Danger Ranger, your mic is really, really robotic-y right now.
Yes.
Hot dog
Really?
water.
I did want to get on one more thing about last night's game. Just to poke a little something here. I'm a big fan of Chris Knight. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of his biggest fans. He left last night's game early enough to where his stats for Game 5 did not pop up on the stat line. Is that anything to potentially worry about? Was he, if he was frustrated in comms, maybe?
What a question.
Just like
But obviously, I mean, I was there. I was in their comms. I played the first, first game, I
Yeah.
believe. So if you've ever met Chris Knight, he's very competitive, and I don't think that you should bash him on that at all. So yeah, he was upset. He is under the same following that I am, that the team is, that all of us are, is that was a winnable series, and like I said, any of these games are a winnable series for us and anybody really, to push a little point to the rest of the league. I mean, look at the overtime games that we've had already, and we've only 2 series deep. The league is getting competitive, and that's cool to see. But on the note of Chris and I leaving, I mean, he was upset. We were all, upset. He just shows his a little bit more. He's a very competitive person, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. It's just, he'll come around, and he didn't get upset in the chat or anything like that. We were kind of upset. It was a winnable game.
I completely understand. Like I'm personally, like I said, a big fan of him. I was just wondering if it was like something more technical, or it was just a little bit of frustration from the game, because it happens. I definitely know he has a bit of a competitive edge, and he conducts himself. Big shout to him. You can get upset, not to knock anybody specifically, but I know his brother has lost his temper a few times, so it's nice to see Chris Knight keep his cool even when he's upset.
We all have moments like that. We all have moments like that.
Oh, I completely agree. That is going to take us into tonight's game that we just saw, which was Pressure versus Collision Course. This is going to be a fun discussion for Nick and Competent here. I'm sure you guys have some choice words on how that game played out.
Hot dog water. Oh my gosh. That game was atrocious. None of us were on top of our game. We all whiffed the balls here and there. Me, Peanut, and Nick kept on saying we're not on top of our game. Nick is not even feeling that well, or he's not even feeling that well today. Towards the end, or in the middle of the game of the last game, Peanut had 46 points, and at the end he had 200 something. And then in the previous games when me and Nick played, I was at the bottom of the leaderboard by like 300 points because I wasn't playing that well. During the last game, I think we started to pick it up just a little bit, but like not enough to where we would look like ourselves like during preseason. Preseason, we were laughing almost during the whole entire game. We were whipping everybody. Like we were laughing, we were having a great time. Like I legit dropped my controller one time because I was crying because of laughter. And then when we actually ended up losing only one scrim because of that, me and Nick both dropped our controllers. But just this tonight's game was just I just gotta say it was hot dog water. But we came up with a W. I guess go back, watch the gameplay, see what we did wrong, and go on from there.
Nick, what's your take on that? Pretty much the same thing? You got a different point of view?
So, like, kind of the same, but at the same time, like, a different approach at it. So, like, yeah, we definitely all played, like, dog shit. And it was a messy series. But when we finally got up 2-1 and, like, we sort of had the vibe going, we thought we were going to take it. Vivid actually hit us with, like, the RKO to nowhere and took Comp and I out. But
now, do you think that would have had a serious impact on momentum that you guys had generated?
Well, in a way, yeah, because Peanut stayed in to play with them. So, like, Peanut actually got a big old beatdown when they won. I think it was 4-0 against us in game 4.
Yeah, I believe it was.
So, like, he had to go
into 4-0 or 4-1, yeah.
Into like a sudden death game, knowing that he just lost 4-0. It's like I can't even imagine what was on his mind in that game.
So interesting question for you two, because you guys actually were in a pretty unique situation here. You guys had the second overall pick in the draft. Obviously, Vivid took Peanut. Brandon went third overall. You guys just got to play against him. There was the opportunity there for you guys to have had him on your team. thoughts on that? Do you think Brandon could have gone higher than number 2? You think he could have been a number 1 player based off of how you guys played against him tonight?
Uh,
You want to go first?
yeah, I mean, like, Brandon's fucking legendary, don't get me wrong. He's also not the carry that I needed in my life, so fuck you, Brandon. But I mean, like, we can't really say that he's good enough for a first overall pick until we see how Lord plays.
Cool.
Because, like, Lord was the first overall, so, like, does he play better than Brandon? Is he worse? Like, we don't know.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, I completely agree. So now I know the decision making behind taking Peanut over Brandon was the fit. Just from watching tonight's game, there definitely is a little bit of a question on how well Peanut actually fit in with you guys, because it was a little rough. It was a little
Don't
rough.
disrespect Peanut like that, my guy. So
Peanut after game 1 actually openly admitted that he was playing like shit.
yeah.
And then he said at the end of game 5, if we would have lost, he would have taken it all on himself. Which, like, come on, it's
Yeah.
actually all Vivid Bunny's fault. Add him in the chat, please.
Add him in the chat.
Well, I was gonna say my big point for bringing that up is I believe there was either 3 or 4 goals over the span of the entire series where he had, I don't want to say like give me points essentially where it's like super easy goals, but he had open like shots that I guess the touch was wrong. I don't know if the pressure got to him. I don't know what was happening.
Whoa, was that a pun?
Oh.
Did you use
Hey, I
pressure
see
because
what you
that's
did
us?
there.
So yeah, my big question is, like, do you think that that's going to smooth out as the season goes on? Do you think it's going to be a persistent issue now? Because like he did pull it together towards game 5. I believe he scored the game-winning goal in overtime.
That's right.
But the beginning of the series, from like 1 to 4, it was really rough. Like he didn't have the same presence that Brandon had. So that's my big question, you guys. Do you think that he's going to, I guess, pick up the pace a little bit more within the team? Because that would be my big. Like, he had the opportunities. There was a lot of stuff there. Is the execution going to get better? That's how I'll word it.
So, with Peanut, everybody has those days. Everybody has those days. It could be weeks. It could be days. It could be hours. I just think he just had a bad game. If you would go look back at the preseason, whenever everybody was rotating everyone out, or it was actually the starters versus the starters, like me, Nick, and Peanut, we all clicked. Like there was no tomorrow. Like no one was coming, or no one was getting through us at all. It was nearly impossible. But like I said, with Peanut, everybody has those days. And we all love Peanut. We love Peanut like he's family. We all talk to each other like we've been best friends for years. So I honestly do like Peanut. So everybody has those days.
Just to sort of add on to that, Peanut also just got back from vacation. So like he hasn't played at all.
And
that
what,
actually
like
is
5
going to lead
days?
into what I was going to ask. So I have a team that
Bash
lost
on
week
Peanut.
1 here, and a team that won week 1 here. So my question to both of you guys, here, to pressure, did you guys practice before, like today, before your game?
No.
No.
I actually woke up at like 5 p.m. I'm not gonna lie.
And then
That's when we originally met.
Epic, did you guys practice before your game yesterday?
No.
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 They literally said
Okay.
they never practiced. What do you mean? Why would you even ask?
Yeah,
that?
no. Yeah, no.
I could have answered that for him.
What do you mean?
I was hoping to see some kind of correlation there, but
Yeah,
there
they're all
was
the
not.
same
makes you
Minecraft
worse,
server.
Like you
what?
thought?
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic here. What are your guys' expectations it actually works perfectly because all three of you have been here from season 2, or in Nick's case, season 1 on. What are your expectations to see from the league this season as a whole? Not necessarily from teams or players, but just like stuff you'd hope to see from the team, whether it's scheduling running smoother,
Yo,
more forfeits.
let me go first, please. I got something
Alright,
like
let's hear
the
it,
whole
Nick.
Discord wants you. We need a new fucking caster.
Oh my god, yes. What is
We need a
going
new
on?
commentator.
Like,
So
Nothing.
the good news is I am actually holding tryouts with a guy this weekend.
Are you gonna try out for
hopefully to take over
commentating?
casting.
Hello?
Yeah, I
What are
gotta
you
make
gonna
sure
do?
he's not me. If he sounds like he's just gonna commentate one of the games as a guest.
Sounds
Oh,
like
okay,
me.
that's-
Oh no.
Like, I feel like that's like pretty much how we handled it when we brought Bubba in initially to be a commentator. So just let him kind of do his thing to see how he did it.
he was actually a G
but-
though. Like,
That's what I'm. Well, see, no, that's what I'm hoping. I believe his name is Dio. Dio.
Oh, Dio Rondo.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
name Dio Rondo.
So we'll see. Hopefully, everything works out well. We will have an actual set commentator that's not me. Praise the Lord. Anything
Christ.
else? Though? Anything else outside of commentator?
No forfeits. Yeah, no forfeits. And a new commentator.
You gonna add anything on to that?
That's your prediction?
No, that's his expectation for this season.
Oh, expectation. I'm done.
In general.
Yeah, I got expectations too at the end.
I mean, I guess if I had to add one more thing, I actually want to see a spicy trade. I want to see
you
like
might
a
get that.
league,
You
like
might
a
get
league
that.
changing.
Like spicy, like Neko getting traded and Jotaro getting traded to different teams.
Well, okay, listen,
Oh,
that'd probably
like,
be better for Jotaro, but we won't talk about that.
Wall getting traded for Brandon and then freaking trade fucking Vivid back for Wall. That was hilarious when you said that.
No, I don't think we've seen
Epic,
enough
did you have anything?
big trades.
When it comes to
Yeah,
expectations
we
of
actually-
the league, or
Yeah.
oh well, basically it's just what I said earlier. I'm already amazed by the competitiveness of the league so far. Because I know the first time I was in the league, there was a certain team started with a V. I can't remember what it was, but
Trachtenberg.
Kind of
was
sounds
it
like
Tra-
the
I think it was-
Lords.
Yeah, I think it was tragedy. No, I was playing, no, there.
coming at me.
He said Wall.
No, I love where this is going. The competitiveness is pretty great. Like, I think there's not really a terrible team this time.
Trachtenberg.
For sure, the
Easy GG.
overall competitive level is definitely raised quite a bit. And then so far this season, we've also had quite a bit more pairing with players. Obviously, with everybody coming off of either rookie deals, et cetera, entering free agency, you got to see a lot of teams like Pressure come about, where you have Nick and Competent now on a team. So definitely major competition rise. Anything else as far as that topic goes, or am I good to move on?
Yeah, no, I have predictions.
What's your expectations?
Expectations. I'm sorry. I've been watching since season 1 in the Discord, and it just seems like things are ramping up emotionally. People are taking things a lot more seriously. So I actually predict a big meltdown. Someone's gonna have a big meltdown.
what?
They might a big meltdown. Yeah, someone's gonna have a big meltdown after one of these games, and their team's gonna have to take a second look at who's on what roster.
How you gonna call Nick
I
out
could-
like that?
I can take
I
two
thought you were
names
throwing
off my
shade
head
at me.
right now.
I feel
I
like
know
you're-
two
I
people
feel
on
like
top of
this
my
is-
head right now.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to call them out.
Yo,
but I know
come,
two
sun's
people.
coming through your mic.
Wow, as much as I want to hear your music, can you not do that?
That's my
Bohemian Rhapsody.
And
All
the
right,
other guy still
guys,
sounds like a robot. So
I do.
Yeah, that's
just
exactly
letting you
what I was
know,
saying.
it's
We've got music and we've got robotics going on. So that's gonna take us
It's a
into
rave.
end of season records, guys. Where do you see teams finishing outside of your own teams? Because obviously, I expect you guys to tell me.
Bro,
teams are
0
gonna
and
finish
9. We're
with the best
clapping
possible
everybody.
records. So, like full senders, where do you see them ending the season?
Like wins and losses or like
There's 10 games.
plays?
Yeah. Just record. There's 10 games.
Probably first or second. I think they can take it again. But
I can see like an 8-2 out of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see 8 or 2, 9 and 1.
Yeah.
What's the lowest you think they drop? Maybe like 7-3. You think they go as low as
Third.
6-4 maybe?
Third.
8 and 2.
Definitely not 6-4.
He said 8-2.
7-3 is probably the lowest I'll go.
So this is gonna be like a little cross here, so to speak. But Epic, where do you see pressure finishing record wise?
About a smack if you don't say the right answer.
7-3, 8 and 2 in that range, I think.
I'll take it.
And then Nick and Competent, same question pretty much.
Oh,
Where
here
do
we
you
go.
see the Lords
Here we
finishing?
go.
Oh, okay, hold up. Oh, okay. So for the power rankings, you actually like insulted the Lord. You actually put them in 7th place? I think
that's
you
hard.
put them below.
6, I believe.
Yes,
Did you
that
put me
was like, cause like I looked at it and I actually sent it in our group chat. I was like, yo, this is a straight insult to the Lords. But I can I wouldn't be surprised if they come up like 7-3,
7-3.
8-2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't sleep on them. Definitely not.
Yeah, just remember, we did go 9 and 1 last season, and we didn't lose
That was last
anybody.
season.
I guess it
we
mattered. It
gained
was
one
still
person.
season.
That was last season.
Well,
love you.
technically, you gained 2 people, Perplexed and
Oh, I guess we did
Miserable.
game
You-
Perplex. I forgot about Perplex.
but you can kind of count that as swap out with Fluffy. Nick, I did not hear you. I heard competence feedback there.
I'm saying like 7-3 or 6-4. I won't go higher than that. I'm sorry.
Oh, he
Evan.
said 6-4.
Jesus.
That's how do I put this? What makes you think they fall that low to 6-4? Because like,
Well, like I don't have a
Diapic
good
brought a good
opinion
point
on
up.
them
The
yet,
talent
right?
is there.
They,
Yeah, I
they
guess
literally
it's
played a
early.
God squad.
It's
Like, what do
early.
you want me to base it off of? You got smacked by
Last
3
season.
grand champs. You're 0-10. Good luck.
I mean,
Slap?
there's
Slap?
there's a reason.
Overtime the last game? Overtime the last game?
Diap, you played 1 game. Where were you? You could have won them the game.
I'm the captain, okay? I try to put the best players in.
Yeah, dude, pull a
regardless of-
freaking Vivid and put it yourself in.
Yeah, just
Okay, so we covered
Hold my
full
beer.
senders, we covered pressure, we covered the Lords. Where do you guys see RGB finishing record wise?
bro, actually 3-7.
Yeah,
Again?
on the
I
bottom.
can see that happening, honestly.
I actually like play with a lot of them, so no hate, but they're actually garbage.
Wow.
They lost Ronska and like they actually fell apart.
So you think them losing Ronska is gonna have that big of an impact on their record?
Yes.
They literally lost an
I stand
in-game
behind
leader.
Nick. I stand behind
That's
Nick.
like
on that statement.
that's the essential of like literally Peanut leaving us right now, and Cop and I are just like little boys trying to find where to go. His comp's
So
garbage too.
they did
Boy,
they
you're hot
did
dog.
add Shoddy, and they did add Fluffy, and Rhea. So you don't
Whoa.
think those
Well,
three
only
players
2 of
is
them matter. Hold up.
He said, "Whoa, whoa." But
you don't
no,
think that's enough talent to replace Ronska's
no,
impact on the team?
no.
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 I mean, don't get me
No,
wrong.
no.
Fluffy's good. Shoddy's good.
Yeah.
Rhea's like very underperforming right now. Again,
It's
no
just that
hate. I actually.
No one can play as fast as Ronska can. Because it's like, yeah, Fluffy's pretty good. Who was the other guy you said that was on RGB? Ray and who else?
Shoddy.
Yeah,
Shoddy. Yeah.
Shoddy.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone can play as fast as Ronska. What I mean by that is, I don't think anyone can play as fast, and the way he plays is he's fast and he's smart with what he does. Like he doesn't like yeah like there's I know some people who just play fast. They just play fast. They don't know what to do with the ball. They just hit it. But Ronska actually has a plan with it compared to everyone else. Am I saying everyone else is trash? No, everyone else is pretty decent. Everyone's got talent, but it's just that I don't think anyone can take Ronska's place.
So I actually like wholeheartedly agree with you guys on that. I think personally though, Shoddy is the big player for them, the big what if player. If he is able to make games and he gets hot, I think he maybe not fills the shoes exactly, but can fill the shoes of that Ronska left. So if he's not available, if he's playing bad, I'd agree with 3-7. But I think if he's playing well, they could be a 6-4, 7-3 team.
The problem I have with saying that is giving them a higher win percentage is just the simple fact that when you do have teams out here like Full Senders, like Pressure, like the Jesus Company, we haven't got to them yet, but those are good teams. Like, and when you have teams that are gonna, when you have teams that are gonna be out here having 7-3, 8-2 records, there's got to be the other side. People are gonna have to go, under 5.
Unfortunately.
And
we'll get to those teams in a minute.
No diss to them at all. There's just so much competition here. I mean, sometimes you got teams like the Dallas Cowboys, and then there's got to be teams like the Eagles. It's got to be bad teams.
Boy,
Yo, pandering, right?
So,
Christ Slayer's an Eagles fan.
where was I?
We're on these nuts. Get out of here.
The next team.
The next team that goes 0-5.
So the next team will do Kimchi Crew.
Oh boy, don't even get me
I
started.
don't even know who's on that team.
Yeah,
Bro, that's David's
on that
team.
Oh my
David
gosh.
Park's on that team. Reginald's on that team. Stryker, Drewski. I'm actually just pulling all this out of my brain. And somebody else, I'm pretty sure. Where do you guys see them going? What do you think?
0-10.
8-2?
They're definitely a higher up team.
Yeah.
So my big question mark to them, and this is where the power ranking kind of came in for me.
Is it actually
roster depth.
David getting carried? Because the answer is yes.
Well, no, my thing is roster depth. Okay, so if we go back and look,
no one denied it too.
Polaris, missing a player. Full Senders loses to RGB, missing a player. So that's my big thing is like with Kimchi Crew, even with the Lords right now. If you guys are missing a player again, how's the depth? That's probably gonna be my biggest knock to Kimchi Crew and why I'm putting them at like 6-4, 7-3. Like 6-4 at the lowest. I think they're too good to go lower. But I question the depth. I think, availability, you're going to lose games if you guys don't have good available players. That's just the nature of the league. People have lives, et cetera. So, yeah, not everybody's available for every game. So you do have to rely on your depth. And that's why I don't see them going as dominant as, say, Full Senders. And, like, Full Senders, I'm not going to say that they have, like, the best depth in the roster, but what Slim is able to do with those players, teaching and rotating players, it definitely adds to them.
He's a Rocket League whisperer.
Very, very true. So that's going to take us from Kimchi Crew. So we're going to go on to Collision Course. You guys just played them.
Hot dog water.
0-10, easy.
0-10.
We already know they're
10-11.
So.
No.
All right, 0-11. Excuse me.
Brandon's actually the
homie. Is that what you said
Shut up.
Brandon's actually the homie. Like,
facts.
He's definitely having issues like working with this team, but he's trying to make it work.
Yeah, I think given time, they'll probably be one of the better teams. The big knock that I had to give is Brandon he was in the league a week before the draft. So there wasn't a lot of time for him to develop with a lot of people. Um, it, maybe they stay above 500. I could see them at like highest probably right now as a 6-4 team. Maybe like 7-3 if they get lucky. But I see them probably sitting around 5-5 personally.
Yeah, I put them right there with Kimchi Crew. That's what I'd say.
See, I'd put them lower than Kimchi Crew. I don't think that that team has a whole lot going
talent
for them without Brandon. Like, if Brandon's not there one day, that team is actually just, like, dare I say it, the FFGG easy team.
Oh my goodness. You see, that is unfortunately my one knock to Collision Course that I don't want to like be like, yo, this is my problem with your team. But the big problem I have with the team is RG is a third man at best, unfortunately, right now. You're looking at Brian Gilson, didn't show you he could be anything more than a third man.
Fuck that guy. Blue Reds every day.
They went out and got Scott A's and brought him in, another bench player to third man option. So they really don't have a lot of high end talent. So it's a lot of it's put on them, I guess, meshing, getting some chemistry, or developing the players that they have. And that's probably why I can't see them going past like 6-4 at best. It's just because I don't think there's enough. Like, I definitely put Kimchi Crew ahead of them just because you have Ronska, Reginald, and David. That alone carries you above 500.
6-4 is fair.
It's fair.
That's at best.
Yeah.
To me, that's best.
Yeah.
What's that worse? You thinking like 3-7?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's not the worst. Could get worse than that.
I can see it being
You
3
think
and
they
7
could be
and
worse
5
than
and
that?
5.
Yeah, I think it could get worse than that.
Well, I'm not going to say they're going to go 0-10 because they're not. Like,
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
one.
I don't think any teams. I think maybe we have one team that goes 1-9. I think
Really?
they're
I think
too
there's
good
two.
to go. You think?
You heard that
I don't
smack?
know about that. I think there's too much competition to have two 1-9 teams personally.
well,
Maybe
we'll
they
get
go
to
1-9
them when we
and
get
Did,
to
did
them.
you say multiple teams can go 1 and 9? Holy, you're toxic.
Oh, I said 2.
Oh, 2. Oops.
Isn't two more than one?
I don't know.
In
Is that
most
mad?
worlds, yeah.
If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound?
But it's toxic.
I mean,
No.
technically. All right. Anyway, moving on, guys. Onslaught Gaming.
Garbage, hot dog
Oh,
water.
God.
Oh shit.
DK Silk is hot dog water.
Nick, I'm
Well
actually
played.
really,
DK Silk, I love you.
this is actually really interesting. So
That's my whole team.
Nick was partnered. Nick's former captain was Forget Jake, and Competent's former captain was DK Bedfast Trout, and both of those players are now
What a
on
gamer
Onslaught
tag.
Gaming.
DK was been on Onslaught.
Yeah, unfortunately he's no longer the captain. It is K-Fish now.
How
But
unfortunate.
thoughts, like, do you
You
think
think
that,
okay?
that roster is gonna?
So what?
You think that
Alright.
roster is gonna make some noise?
I'm actually about to be 100% honest. We scrimmed them, and it was actually a nightmare. It was probably like the most brutal scrim that we've done, where we've stomped them. And I ended up talking
Trusty.
with Tay-Fish after, and I was like, yo, you should probably host like some 6-man to get some more playing time. And he like openly admitted that his team needs a lot of work.
Yeah, he does. He does
I mean,
admit that.
That's healthy though.
That's like step one towards actually getting your team better. So
Yeah.
that's a plus.
Yeah.
But onto their record. Where do you see them finishing record-wise?
1 win if they get lucky.
Boy,
And they play FFGG.
Really?
I'll give him 3.
I'll
3
give
and
him-
7.
If I had to be perfectly honest, because I know the way the schedule is set up is that new teams are facing new teams and old teams facing old teams. So if just going off the top of my head, I don't know the teams that much, but honestly, I can see Onslaught maybe winning 2. Reason
Like
why
2
is
and
because
8.
they don't have no
No.
one that's like that steps out.
I mean, they have Panther. Panther's a pretty decent player.
He is really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
He's
that's true. I
pretty
totally
good.
forgot about Panther, honestly.
The only issue is
But-
he's EU, so like he's got that difficult thing to work with.
Yeah, from ping all the way up to availability, that is going to be big questions. I think at best, like they're everything's hitting exactly where they want it. I think they finish 5-5, unfortunately.
Bro,
I
that'd
gotta
be
look
best
at the
case
schedule.
scenario.
Yeah,
that's gotta be best
I
case.
honestly see them hitting around 2 or 8 or 3 or 7. I really like what Tayfish is able to do though, because he literally had to piece together a roster with no time at all. Like he was the last captain to come in, kind of just rushed it all together, and at least he has somewhat of a competitive roster together. They definitely, given some time, could grow into a serious contender.
I mean, Tayfish wanted top anyway. See how far that got him.
Boy, why you gotta call him out like that? I was gonna keep that to myself.
Here.
But
okay, so
one person from Onslaught that, in my opinion, has got a lot of potential is DK. Because from where I played with him last season compared to when we face him now, he's definitely gotten a lot faster with his gameplay. So I'm very curious of how he will improve by the end of the season.
do you think that him being a captain could have hindered some of his development as a player?
DK?
Tayfish? Or
Yeah.
DK.
Tayfish?
What? Which one?
No, DK. Bedfast Trap. Because he was the captain. He was the captain last season, and like as you said, he definitely was not playing as well as he is right now. I feel like personally that maybe being a captain was a little too much for him, a little too distracting, maybe a little bit too much pressure. Do you think that could have affected his play?
Yeah, most definitely. Especially with everything that went on in Onslaught. I'm making it sound more big than it should be. But most definitely, because it wasn't that big. But, because like at the beginning of the season, because when we were in games, I was telling DK where to go, and if he would say, like, hey, I need to go back, I'd be like, hey, no, you can survive off 3 pads. If you're, for me, I'm comfortable if I get 3 pads. I'm comfortable with the ball in my possession. With DK, I gave him some pointers here and there, helped him out during games, and honestly, by the end of the season, I saw improvement. Like I was a little surprised how much he improved because he used to be a very, very slow player. He would always hesitate on things, and me and Beowulf would help him out here and there. But DK, I think he's got some potential. So, but we'll see.
Okay, so moving on from Onslaught now, we're gonna go to Jesus Company.
Jesus.
The big question mark team, in my opinion, obviously, trading their first round pick for next season for a player this season, kind of building a team out of rentals. Where do you see them going right now?
7-3.
More than likely, their starting 3 is Lord Bubba Dickey or Lord Bubba Crane Man. One of those 2 combinations, most likely.
7-3.
I can see them going 7-3 and 6-4, depending on how they rotate. If they rotate players and if everyone shows up on time.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't think that Lord and Bubba are enough to push them higher than 7-3?
I was actually getting ready to say I would give them more than that if availability was their friend and they got to all the games.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is
really
Lord
want to
Bubba,
make
I
like
guess that
a.
makes sense.
I don't want to make like a high prediction, just seeing that we still haven't seen how they've played.
Yeah, we don't know if Lord and
That's the
Bubba are
fun in
actually gonna
predictions.
play well together.
It's a prediction.
Well, I mean, like,
It's not the law.
My prediction is high for them.
I'm gonna give
same,
them
same.
the 7-3.
My mid-ranged.
I think they're a new team, so they're playing teams like Pressure, Collision Course. I think they could go 8-2, maybe 9-1. That's as like where I put their talent at. Specifically because it seems like Dickey doesn't want to rotate players. So Bubba and Lord on the field, I think that helps you win games regardless.
Yeah, but it depends on who the third person is, because there's bad blood on that team.
So hey,
like,
Nick, invite me back real quick, alright?
No.
Wow.
Okay, so he slides out. We're gonna move on to the last
Plug it back in.
teams. It's gonna be Ice. Now, unfortunately, I think I've got to put Ice as my second lowest rated team. I think they're at best looking at a 3-7 record.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck, I wouldn't even give him that.
Really?
So, like, I play with Joker a whole lot. Joker is having a big ol' hard time with his team. His
Very
team
rough.
is not cooperating at all.
Which
How
kind of
so?
seems like a running thing with that team. Not to, you know.
Well, I mean, when
whatever,
you
but-
think about it, and you look at, like, the 4 people that he drafted, he literally drafted every toxic player in our league. Like,
Well,
Diamond is
so
actually a nightmare for him.
I do get a little bit of like look into how teams are interacting with each other, and I'd have to put the big like question marks more so on 2 players, not the majority of the roster. I'm a big fan of Ashero. They got Brody, that was a strong pickup. There's the third they added, Arc 5s they added. I like that. No elite talent right there though. They picked up Dad out of free agency. Not the biggest fan of that. And then they drafted Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, definitely some of his players are good, but when you look at the roster as a whole, they don't really have that, like, the star of the show type of player. Like, they don't have, like, a Kryptonite or Miserable, or they don't have a Peanut on their team. They have,
You don't
like,
think Diamond could fill that role?
He won't.
Definitely.
He just won't.
he won't. He'll
He
refuse
will
to
not
play.
with them. He will not play with them.
So that is like the word that came out on the street. But like after like I've done some investigation. Apparently that bridge was mended to some extent. Now I don't know like I'm not there in the conversation, but to my knowledge that bridge was mended to some extent to where he's committed to playing for the team. I still, regardless, even if he plays, even if all the stars align for them, I put them at 3-7 at best right now.
That's fair.
And that's
I like it.
really unfortunate because, you know, Joker's coming on his second season.
I feel bad for Joker.
Yeah,
Look what he dealt with last
he-
season.
Yeah, with Dirt though, that was really unfortunate. That was almost like a you can't blame him kind of situation. You can't really blame anyone other than Dirtho in that situation because
No, he was so good in his presentation, and like Dirtho, you know, anyway, and that going over first overall just made sense. And so that kind of talent, why not draft him first overall? Who knows what's going to happen to the personality? That's crazy.
yeah, that was rather unfortunate. That did end up, I guess, kind of working itself out in the long run, though, that now that Dirtho's not an active player in the league. Which is actually going to take us to the last team that I wanted to go over, which is the team that I am temporarily captaining for the season.
Happening?
Which is FF.
Captaining?
My bad. Yo, it's happening. It's happening. Nah, for real though. So FF Easy GG. Put together completely out of free agents. Some people who didn't get drafted, others who are already in the league. I'm not going to make a prediction on my team's record. You guys can go ahead and do that.
Crash.
So, wait, are we still discussing about teams?
Yeah, we're on
Yes.
the last team. FF, my team.
Who was the team before
I don't
that?
know.
Who did I miss?
You missed
missed
the
Ice.
Jesus squad. And
Ice. Who's on Ice?
It's Joker's team.
Diamond,
Diamond.
Dad, Joker.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started.
Yeah, see, that's why we said just skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
on,
ahead.
on to FF, easy GG.
Y'all said
I don't know a
skill.
single
Where
player
you-
on this team.
Bro, shout out to my boy Hard in the Paint. I respect that he's on that team.
I was
But I mean, like, that
ecstatic to bring
team's-
him on.
The team's actually garbage. Like,
That team's actually.
I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong, they're all cool players. Like, I played with a bunch of them. But, like, you put them against any of, like, the better teams. And it's actually just an FF easy GG.
Yeah, well, a lot of the point of having
What you
them
call
on
it?
the team
Chrysler's
right now,
name like that? Hello.
is hopefully to get them some attention going into next season. When we do dissolve the team, they will actually you'll have I guess a game tape, so to speak, of all of them, so you can kind of make a better judgment. I personally, it's just gonna be one big learning experience. I don't know if you guys know, but I brought in Dirtha to help me run the team. So I actually have somebody on the team who knows Rocket League, like to
Whoa,
a deeper
Dirto's in
extent.
Discord. Hello.
No, he's just in shit talking
new.
24/7.
All
No,
the
he's in.
time.
He's
I know.
in.
She
He's in
talks
the
like once
FF.
every week.
He's in the FF Easy GG chat. He talks there like every night, every other night, just like going over advice, etc., etc. That's what I brought him in for. With that being said, though, records like hit me with a number.
1-9.
Mm,
For who? Joker.
yeah.
No, for
No,
FF
FF
easy.
Okay, so. Okay, I was about to say. Okay, I was about to say Jokers. Never mind.
You are still on that
For-
team.
Yes. But for FF, yeah, probably 1-9, 2-8 if they get like insanely stupid lucky.
I could see that. I could see that. All right, so that's gonna move us off of all of our team predictions.
Mhm.
Let me see here. 1 second, guys. So we're gonna go into top 5 players at the end of this season. So everybody, just give me your 5 essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and start with
Breadboard.
Danger Ranger since he's been the quietest.
Stupid.
My
Hit me with your top
five.
5. We're talking about now. We're talking about the end of this season. So like, somebody
Yeah.
you're saying is gonna put in work this season.
I think Bubba's gonna hold out, being one of the top players when it comes to like points. Other than that, Brandon's really showing out. Lord's still pretty good, even though we haven't seen him play. I mean, it's not like season 2 didn't happen. And thinking under, and I'm trying to think who Sky Decay drafted. There was one of his players.
They didn't draft anybody.
They got Liquid. though.
Fluffy,
Liquid.
Rhea.
Or Fluffy.
No,
not
they
Fluffy.
got Fluffy Ray,
Not Liquid. They got Fluffy. Fluffy.
Shoddy.
Shoddy, I was about to
Oh,
say Scotty.
You think Fluffy's gonna be one of the top 5?
I think
Well,
Fluffy's
don't
gonna show some
disrespect
improvement.
Fluffy like that.
No, don't
Holy.
disrespect
He's gonna
Fluffy
show
like that.
improvement.
Fluffy's the fluff man.
He's gonna show improvement. He's gonna be the bomb.
Fluffy actually dusted me in a 1v1.
He's gonna change his name
Fluffy
to forget
can
Fluffy.
ball.
Yeah, he's gonna be the best.
Fluffy's balls. Cheeks,
All right.
cheeks.
So let's move over to Nick. Nick, you can't list yourself.
Oh, that's gay.
Oh.
Forget Jake.
Vivid.
Let's go. Aw.
Boy,
Alright, next.
Hold my beer.
Is that a
I
challenge?
mean, like,
All
yeah.
right, Nick. So let's hear your top 5 though.
I mean,
Chrysler.
like, Brandon's definitely up there. He's carrying a mountain. I can actually see Reginald putting in a lot of work, even though he's on shitty David's team. But like, Miserable is looking real good. I wish I could say Die Epic, but no.
No. Don't count me. So I don't even think about top 25.
You got
who
two
else
more
are-
left.
See, like I don't want to pick like the high name people.
I
My
feel-
boy Striker. If he ever gets playing time, he's gonna put in work. I trust him. And
Last
bro, you already said underbred, didn't you? I can't. I don't want to pick him.
I did.
Bro, Green Gujaku is actually the man.
Yo, I agree.
Why is that facts?
one. Oh my goodness.
Bro, Joker just DM'd me
Interesting.
telling him to make him top 5. Joker, you'll never even be top 50. Get out of here.
Oh my
Start
goodness.
This DMs.
Taylor, your mic is like really
Yes.
Hurt.
Who?
bad. Like we really can't understand you. On to competent though. Competent. Hit me with your top 5. Can't be yourself, obviously.
Shit, Chrysler, Danger Ranger. Not playing.
Fuck, dude.
It's a bad list.
Yo, back in season 4.
So honestly, I see. You see, y'all screw for ice cream. I see. Oh man, there's a lot of players. I can see Reginald being one of them, and Green Gujaku. Honestly, I remember facing Green Gujaku. He actually has a lot of potential. Who else? Trying to be like Nick, not name the top players. Let's see. Shoot, there's so many players. I don't even know who to pick. Oh my gosh. I really like Striker, honestly. I'd say my list would be very close to Nick. I really like Striker also, the way he played. I like this. I really liked his play style. I'm gonna be honest. That's all the players I can think of right now.
All right, that was 4. Not bad.
Great
Not,
tier.
interesting list. Striker's been up there twice now. All right, Epic. What you got for your
Green.
top 5?
Like I'm gonna try. I guess I'll try to go do what they did and leave the real top name people out.
Bro, if you pick your whole
know.
team, I swear to God.
No, I would, obviously keeping in mind Slim, Jotaro, and
Not named
Nico
though.
are always gonna be up there. But I
Oh,
would
we
put,
just said don't name him.
I'm just saying, they're obviously there. That we know they're there. Anyway, my boy Miserable, somebody named him. He
Agreed.
actually went off for the most part.
Oh, and Miserable, that's my 5th. Okay, go on. I'm
He
sorry.
was so sick. You guys don't even know. He wasn't in comms. He was so sick he could barely talk. Keep that in mind. And he scored 4 points in one game. Anyway, I would put Bubba. I guess he's up there already. Competent. You're gonna be insane this season. I
Bro,
already know.
imagine picking Compton on me.
You're already gonna be.
Hello?
Imagine being
up
Jam
there.
2, not Jam 3.
All right, so you
I
said
think-
competent. Who else?
I think
Appreciate it,
Panther's gonna
Doc.
have a lot of points. Panther's gonna have a lot
Oh,
of points.
Panther.
If you look at
I
the
had to
team
throw
he's
Panther
on,
in there.
he's gonna have a bunch of points, being one of the only players with the rank that he's at. There was another person that was kind of like that. He's gonna have a bunch of points on his team just because of his situation. Skrilla. I think he's gonna have a boatload of
Skrilla.
points. Yeah. I think he's gonna have a boatload of points just from the team that he's on. But how many is that? How many do I have? Is that 4?
I think that was 4 right there. Yeah.
Okay.
You
And
got
then
one more.
let's go with let's just go with Striker again. I think that's a solid pick for sure.
I've actually not been on any of these
people in the
lists.
Can't
What's
do
up with it?
Very interesting. All right, I got you. I got you.
Nigga,
guys
I named
ready.
Why
Player,
don't
we're
the
not gonna-
silver
we're not gonna
one
talk
put me
about
on the
you.
list? Get out
So my number one for top 5.
Competent.
I think it's OD disrespectful to my man's. So it's gotta be Ronska. Only player
Really?
with back-to-back finals appearances, and he's got the title. Jotaro doesn't have that.
He's gonna
Slim
pull
doesn't
off
have
third
that.
time.
Neko doesn't have that. So I gotta give Ronska's gotta be in the top 5.
Like
I think
turbo
he's gonna have
bullshit.
crazy influence on this team.
He was a big name player. I didn't name.
I'm
we try to give
probably
respect to
gonna
the little
say.
people.
Well, it's your top 5 players, not necessarily like your top 5 little name players. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to go Ronska number 1. I'm gonna say competent number 2 because I think he's gonna benefit the most from the team. I think Peanut draws a lot of attention from your higher level players. I think Competent's gonna have some great opportunities. You saw with a lot of the corner goals you guys had in the past series. Really annoying goals in my opinion, but
Facts.
just
Y'all
looking
play
at
like hot water.
yeah, just looking at that though, like I could definitely see you up there in the top 5.
Appreciate it.
I want to put Bubba up there. I do. But I really don't know how he's going to interact on that roster. So I'm actually not going to put Bubba up there this time around. He would have been up there last season for me. So my third is going to be Kryptonite.
I can see it.
I'm a huge fan of Kryptonite. Obviously, Miserable coming there. You kind of saw Miserable take the lead of the team a little bit. Kryptonite didn't have the best game, but I think he's going to bounce back. I
If he
think
keeps
kinda
gold.
holds the spotlight a little more. Yeah, if he has live.
Yeah.
But I think he can hold the spotlight a little bit more than Miserable can right now, just because Kryptonite's a little bit more recognized of a name. What's that? That's 3. Number 4. It's got to be Slim. Just to show respect to Slim, it's got to be Slim.
But as an honorable mention.
That's disrespectful.
I'll put Neko as an
love
honorable
Slim for
mention. How
watching
about
this.
that?
Say what?
I said I'll put Neko as the honorable mention.
Whoa, listen,
Boy,
how would you
put
put
Nick.
Neko and Nacho
It's insult to
Taro?
Nick.
So
Bro.
I was on. What was it? That Slim was number 4, right? Slim was number 4.
Yes.
Number
Slim
5.
was an honorable mention.
It's Jason Nash.
Oof. That's gonna be a tough one. I want to say it's gonna be Brandon. I think like he
I can
has
see
around
it.
at number 5. I think he could probably go higher on that list, but just because the team situation, et cetera, I think 5 is like the perfect spot. And then you can have Neko or Nick as the honorable mention if you want.
There you go. That's my boy. Excuse me.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dare say that people overhype full senders a little bit, but
But they totally do.
Like,
Hyping full sense.
Have you
No,
seen him
I-
play?
They do.
I think people do overhype them. Like I think they're a really good team. Don't get me wrong. Like I think they are a really really good team, arguably the best team in the league. But I don't
Hashtag
think
worst
they're
critic.
as like as god tier as a lot of the hype brings them up to be. If they
Yeah,
were
it's
as
pressure,
good
bro.
as
That's
everybody
pressure.
hyped them up, they would have beaten the Lords in that last regular season game, in my opinion. That was a good just look. They're missing one player, and they take the L. They're missing one player, and they take another L.
We just talk about, last season when they got swept.
You sure you want to talk about last season?
Dude, full centers got smacked in the playoffs.
Yes, I did amazing.
Well,
Didn't
you
they
see,
dub
that, like I said, that ultimately comes down. That's why I think they are a little overhyped. Is because like, while they are amazing players, they can't they're not immortal, so to speak. They can't just carry a team. They played a 3-7 team, and they were missing Jotaro, and they couldn't get the W.
Joe Taro's a
Brilliant.
god.
Jotaro is actually good.
Yep, they were missing Neko, and they couldn't get the W against the Lords.
That's not the point. The point is Joe Taro's a god.
Oh,
wouldn't
what
say
about
could've.
Mello?
Yeah, Mello is the big
X
question
Factor.
mark. He didn't play at all. He wasn't even readied up for their week 1 match. So like, I'm gonna probably end up. He's gonna be one of those players where I'm gonna target his availability. If you're not available, then I'm gonna question your value to your team, and that could be where we're looking at with Unmello right now. All right, so dang, we killed 65 minutes. That's 30 minutes longer than I wanted to go on this.
So it's a new record.
Whoops.
Yeah, it actually might be, to be honest,
No,
an hour-long episode.
No.
So that is going to be all we have to discuss tonight. Hopefully, Thursday's Thoughts will resume at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday, as normal.
Yeah, it will be. Definitely.
That might be
The voice in
scheduled
the
change.
background, yeah, it will be.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. This is a quiet voice in the background. Yeah, it will be. But so hopefully
quiet.
it'll be back at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. Do pay attention for updates for that. I will let you guys know. I do have matches Saturday and Sunday, ranging from, I believe, 8 p.m. all the way up to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, and that should wrap up all of week 1. I might do a Clee Talk Live episode and just recap everything that's happened so far in week 1.
Okay.
I'll make announcements more towards that later on. That's going to be all for tonight, though, guys. Enjoy your night. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Or
Drunk
Yep,
dope,
everybody,
though.
that's all.
Feel like fish, let's go, okay.